wrestling fans, welcome to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And we got an exciting hour in store for you this week. Our promoter, Jim Crockett Promotions, has signed a number of what should be good competitive matches for you. And in addition, we're going to be having a little later in the program an update about the Great American Bash 86. Tell you a few of the exciting things that are going to be happening with the Great American Bash. Now, this week, you're going to be seeing such great competitors in that ring as the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, also Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA, and many more, all during this hour. Right here with us now, we have, of course, Ronnie Garvin, and over here, Wahoo McDaniel. Ronnie, we want to talk about the national champion, though, with you for a moment, and about Tully Blanchard.
Well, everybody knows what happened to, the world's the national champion, Tully Blanchard, tried to break my hand. Then I wore tape to protect it. He went around for 4 or 5 weeks complaining, screaming, crying, complaining to the NWA, to Jim Crockett Promotion, to everybody, because I was wearing tape to protect it. Well, I'm going to tell you, I beat him on television. I feel I'm the champion, the national champion. The whole country feels I'm the national champion because I get fans that writes me thousands of letters, and that's exactly what they tell me. So let's just forget about everything. Let's put your pride on the line, your health, your career, and everything. We'll tape him up, Tully Blanchard, and then you tell the world how great you are if you defeat me, but I'm going to tell you something. You go through me, tape fist, is going to be a different story.
All right, and Wahoo McDaniel, you know, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. And, of course, you got another Anderson that you're looking at.
Well, you know, they both seem to have gotten together here. They dropped me on my head, punched me in the back of the head. Tells everybody he bought me a plane ticket to get here. Well, you know, I'm not going to stand here and say the man is a liar because everybody probably knows that because the people know me. But like I said, Arn Anderson, you stuck your nose in my business. You've got something I want. Jimmy Garvin, you don't have to look for me more because I guarantee you, both of you, anytime you want to sign the dotted line, I'll be there.
Good luck to you, Wahoo and Ronnie Garvin. All right, to the ring now, as we're about ready for action, fans. My partner, Johnny Weaver, right here. Johnny, two of the most popular athletes that we've ever seen compete anywhere, the Rock and Roll Express.
They certainly are, Bob, and very exciting individuals in the ring. And boy, we've seen some tremendous match with Ricky Morton against the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Of course, we still see the evidence of the beating that he suffered from the hands of Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson right there on the face. Great shot, guys, of Ricky Morton. He's still taped up. That's still raw. But he is one great competitor and a very popular individual.
And he's back at 100%, I would say, Johnny, in the ring. And he and his partner...
Oh, I never stopped him for a minute.
He and his partner, Robert Gibson. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson. And Robert comes all the way over that top rope. And down onto the leg.
Just the teamwork that we have watched and seen from the Rock and Roll Express for a long time now. Oh, beautiful. The opponents of the Rock and Roll Express here, David Dillinger and Gene Ligon. And they've been on a receiving end since this one has started, Bob.
They have, and it's Gene Ligon who is down on the mat as Ricky Morton drags him toward the corner. There's Robert Gibson for the second time, way over that rope and hard down on that leg. Now with that toe hold.
Well, got a great show lined up. The adversaries in the tag team action of the Rock and Roll Express, the World Tag Team Champions, Midnight Express will be along later. Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Magnum TA. We got a whale of a show, Bob.
Just a terrific hour, Johnny, and fans, as we said, you'll want to be listening closely as we're going to be giving you more information about the Great American Bash 86.
And Ricky Morton continues to work on Gene Ligon and the crowd with a staccato chant, rock and roll.
Over toward his corner now, Gene Ligon, who makes the tag, as we're going to get a switch.
And it's David Dillinger on the receiving end now. Ricky Martin. Beautiful drop kick right on the button.
They can get so high and get such a tremendous amount of force behind that drop kick, Johnny.
And especially when they do it together, Bob. We've seen them beat a lot of teams. There it is! Double drop kick. Lateral press. The winners of Rock and Roll Express.
The timing of that double drop kick is just a thing of beauty. Nobody does it like they do, Johnny.
The Rock and Roll Express with that double drop kick. We're going to see it again in slow motion right here. David Dillinger slung into the ropes, and they're waiting with that double drop kick at the Rock and Roll Express. Put them away. The winners are Rock and Roll Express.
All right, fans, right here we want to tell you just a little bit more about what's going to be taking place. The Great American Bash 86, a great evening of family entertainment. The Bash will get underway on July 1st, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and it will wind up on the 2nd of August at the Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. And Johnny Weaver, a lot of great sports arenas and complexes and stadiums in between.
Oh, that's right, Bob. Some of the biggest stadiums in the United States. They're going to be in RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, and of course, not only great wrestlers on all these programs, but they're going to have entertainers there too, such as Jesse Kohler, Waylon Jennings, George Jones, David Allen Coe, many others.
In the ring, here is the United States heavyweight champion, Magnum TA, with a championship belt right around the waist. Fans, as we said, it's a great hour right here. We just saw the fantastic team of the Rock and Roll Express, and here is your United States champion, Magnum TA. And, Johnny, that's two back-to-back right there.
And let's keep an eye on Magnum, because we have witnessed him in some... Oh, there he is, Bob, belly to belly. He caught him quick. He caught him quick. Brought the fans out of their seat. And that's a great win for the U.S. champion, Magnum TA. Holy cow. And we're going to get to see that again in slow motion as Magnum sizes up Mike Samani. They come off the ropes. Magnum sees the opening, and it's that belly-to-belly suplex that puts away Samani. A win for Magnum TA.
Here's Paul Jones, and Paul, it looks like every week that this army back here just gets bigger and bigger.
Well, let me tell you something, Bob. Right here are the scissors, and Jimmy Valiant made a statement that I was going to be a bald-headed geek, that Shaska was going to be a bald-headed geek. Well, let me tell you something, Valiant. I'm the one that formed this army, and I'm the one that said you were going to be gone in '86, and I'm the one that's driving this army forward. You can get all the help you want. Understand he's back. Well, you're back, and understand you got help. Well, you're going to need more than help.
Das is richtig. The army is ready. We are prepared. Jimmy Valiant, we don't care how many thugs you hire, how many men come after us. We're going to make the first charge, and we're coming after you, and that's all the people need to know, right, Cheska?
Paul Jones and his army, fans, and now we got to go back to the ring.
And in the ring, Bob, is a man that they got a lot of promise for. Todd Champion, a big individual, good-looking athlete, All-American at Utah State University, played pro football for the Los Angeles Rams, but he's just new in the wrestling profession, Bob. Sometimes it's very, very hard to make the switch. They're looking for big things from Todd, but he's on the bottom of the ladder.
That's
and
right.
it don't always work.
You got to work your way right up. And, Johnny, he is green as a professional wrestler, but he is, as you said, a great athlete. And it'll be interesting to see just how fast he comes along. And the way he's handling Thunderfoot in there right now, the Golden Terror looked like he was coming along pretty good.
He's got quickness. He's got size. A good-looking athlete, Todd Champion. And, of course, Bobby had a lot background in football, but it's a different game inside the square circle.
100% right. Terra hard to the mat. He showed you how much strength he's got, at least a bit of it, Johnny, as he just slammed the Terra hard to the mat, went right back to the headlock.
Well, he'll get a real test right here because Golden Terror Bob is a veteran, and he'll test this youngster Todd Champion.
As we told you earlier about some of the great events that are going to be happening with the Great American Bash 86. Next week right here we'll have a comment from Bob Geigel, the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, about the Great American Bash and about the heavyweight champion Nature Boy Ric Flair concerning the heavyweight champion and the American Bash.
Well, it's certainly going to be a tremendous fun night of entertainment, Bob. Wrestling and entertainment stars also making your summer plans. Be sure and include that. Oh, fine maneuver there by Todd Champion. He got that arm drag in on Golden Terror and upset him, and he has the upper hand in this match.
Well, he ducked right under that blow in that corner and came out quickly with that arm drag.
A heavy word still coming from Paul Jones, aimed at the Boogie Woogie Man. We got the Boogie Woogie Man on the program, and he's got a couple friends with him.
Everywhere you see Paul Jones, though, you notice what he's got in that hand, Johnny. He's got those scissors.
And the Boogie Woogie Man's got the Raging Bull and Hector Guerrero with him.
Hip toss high to the air, way across the ring.
I am so far impressed with Todd Champion showing here. He's got a veteran in there, and he's got to fight his way up through the ranks, but he's doing, holding his own so far.
Still with a headlock on the Terra, with the Terra now on the mat. Todd Champion still with the upper hand. Johnny, I think you'd have to say that so far during the match, too, Champion more or less has had the upper hand during the match.
He's showed quickness. He showed a lot of wrestling savvy. There was an opening.
Boy, did the Terra take advantage of that.
And now it's years of experience there paying off now for the Terror. And Todd will learn as he tries to make his way up the wrestling ladder.
A blow like that with the force that Champion had behind it himself coming off of the ropes is really a telling blow. There's one now to the Terra.
Fine reversal. And now it's Champion who is on the upper hand. Good high elbow drop, and that's from a 290-pound man. We got a winner. Todd Champion has a victory here on national television. There he is. Good-looking athlete there.
And I think you got to say that here is a real comer in the world of professional wrestling, Todd Champion. Let's watch this ending again in slow motion, fans.
Well, they have high hopes for him, and he has a victory here, as we're going to see him get that victory with that high elbow drop across the Golden Terror. The winner, Todd Champion.
And we'll be back. We'll have more action right after we take this time out. The representatives of the Kremlin right here, Ivan and Nikita Koloff. Crusher Khrushchev. Crusher.
All you ignorant Americans, as you can see, another week has gone by, and another week I've healed. Isn't that right, Uncle Ivan?
This is right, Crusher. You know, I hear Magnum TA out here complaining about Nephew Nikita being reluctant on signing a contract. Yep. The truth is, Nephew Nikita dictated to Magnum TA, to the NWA, to Jim Crockett Promotion on the Russian chain match, and got his way. Now, renegotiations have taken place on the contract for United States heavyweight title, and we are in agreement on the contract terms for United States heavyweight title between Nephew Nikita and Magnum TA on television.
Great.
But before this, we demand to have a press conference.
Why a press conference, Ivan?
Hey, it is none of your business. It is none of your business, American. We just demand to have a press conference. We're entitled to this, and we demand to have it.
All right, but if you have it, we want to have it right here next week so all of the fans can see it, too.
That is fine. That is exactly what we want. Now, time and time again, Magnum TA comes out complaining, saying that he is still feeling great, even after a chain match. But you are hiding, Magnum TA, the bruises, the injuries that you have suffered. Nephew Nikita.
You say it all.
All right, and we're ready to the ring again, fans. Six-man action
He's kind of tall. He's really fine. Someday I hope to make him mine, all mine. And he's neat, oh so sweet. And just the way he looked at me swept me off my
The boogeyman, Jimmy Valiant, and Johnny Weaver, he's got some help in his corner in the forms of the Raging Bull, Hector Guerrero. So I think Paul Jones' Army may have bitten off a little more than they can chew now with Valiant.
Well, maybe Paul Jones didn't think the boogeyman had any friends, but you can see in the ring that this great Mexican team of Hector Guerrero and the Raging Bull are right behind the Boogie Woogie Man. This will be great six-man tag team action. Leo Burt, Thunderfoot, and Vernon Deaton in the other corner over there. He always had the intensity and the quickness of the Bull in all his matches. Very popular.
The Bull, who is like a wild man in the ring. Hard slam to the mat. Boy, he had him set for that chop. You saw him stop. You talk about putting on the brakes. He really hit him heavy.
He certainly did. I know they watch out for that flying burrito, but he sure put the brakes on right there. There's the Boogie Woogie Man on the outside, and of course Hector Guerrero. And this should be a while with 6 top wrestlers in that ring. Uh-oh.
The Bull just spins him around, high to the air with the atomic drop, hard onto the knee. Now here comes Thunderfoot after the tag, and it looks like it's going to be Valiant. No, Valiant got in, went right back out, and left the Bull in.
Valiant just expressing his appreciation of his friends in there. Hector, hey, look at Hector. And he has some great moves, this man, Hector Guerrero, Bob.
As we told you, it was going to be a great hour, and yet to come, you got to see the Midnight Express in action. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin in what should be a really outstanding match against young Sam Houston, and also Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard team together.
2 of the 3 horsemen, and they have really put some hurting on a lot of people. Here's the Boogeyman. And sleeper hold. He's got the sleeper on Thunderfoot. He drives it on Leo Burt. A Boogie Woogie Man doing it his way.
A quick tag. The Bull is in. Double elbow. Valiant and the Bull both had the elbow up as Thunderfoot came off of the ropes.
And I wonder what Paul Jones and his army is doing now. I'm sure they're glued to a monitor somewhere in the dressing room.
I think they're getting a little nervous, Johnny.
And Vernon Deaton in the ring, and the Bull greets him with a, ooh, what a chop. A Raging Bull still in command of this match.
Another tag to Guerrero as they're going to double team him off the ropes.
High double backdrop, and it's Hector Guerrero in there. Fine side suplex.
A tag to the Bull, a double team to the ropes again. Let's see if they try to put him away. There's a combination double drop kick.
Drop kick by Guerrero and the Raging Bull. The Bull now gets into trouble as Leo Burke opens up his attack.
Burt caught him with a good knee to the midsection, and he is right after him, but the Bull turns it around again.
A little confusion, and they're going to try and slow it down. And we're going to have a new opponent in there as Vernon Deaton now comes into the ring.
Well, Bull, Guerrero, and Valiant, it doesn't matter to them at the moment. They go right after Deaton. Here's Guerrero, has him up for the slam.
Flying burrito caught Vernon Deaton. The Bull hooks the leg. We got a winner.
With the burrito and then hooking the leg, it was all over. And Johnny, I just started to say, boy, the pace of a six-man bout is furious.
And we're going to see it in slow motion again as the team of Jimmy Valiant, Raging Bull, Hector Guerrero put away their opponents. Here we'll see a tag made. And as Deaton comes off the ropes, there's a flying burrito right on the button. The winners, Hector Guerrero, Raging Bull, and the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Stay tuned, fans. We'll be right back with more action after these commercial messages about the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling events coming to your area.
The Cumberland County Memorial Arena, Fayetteville, Monday, June 2nd, 8 o'clock. Meet your boy, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious, Dusty Rhodes of Baby Doll, the Rock and Roll Express, and many others. Monday, June 2nd, 8 o'clock in Fayetteville. Hallsboro High School Gym on Thursday, May 29th at 8:15. The Barbarian, Shaska, Baron Von Raschke, the Raging Bull, Hector Guerrero, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, Paul Jones, and many others. The Dorton Arena in Raleigh on Wednesday, May 28th at 8:15. World TV title match, Arn Anderson defense against the Italian Stallion. Tape fifth match, Ryan Garvin goes up against Tully Blanchard with James J. Dillon. The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, and Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant will take on Shaska and the Barbarian. To determine the #1 contender for the World Tag Team title, the Rock and Roll Express will take on Ivan and Nikita Koloff. World Tag Team title match, the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette against Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. And a Texas Death Match, Wahoo McDaniel with Baby Doll against Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious. First of all, let's bring in Jim Cornette, defending the World Tag Team title against America's team.
Do you realize America's team, the James boys, whatever they want to call themselves, do you realize what they are, Tony? They're maniacs. They're trying to do me bodily harm. I have never done anything to anybody wrong. Don't look at me like that, Tony. Every word I'm saying is the truth. I have never cheated anybody. I've never swindled anybody. I have always been kind to everyone I've come in contact with. I've been a perfect example of sportsmanship. I'm kind to animals, and I contribute to all major telethons. I'm a nice guy, Tony, and they want to do me bodily harm. Well, let me tell you something. Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes, the Midnight Express are the World Tag Team Champions, and that's what you're jealous about because you can't have these belts, so you want to run around with masks on your face. Well, it ain't going to work because the Express is going to take care of you, and Baby Doll, you are mine, darling.
We'll see a Texas Death Match as Wahoo McDaniel has Baby Doll with him, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious.
I think it's a crying shame how Mr. Cornette gets treated around here, and I'm sure that when he's finished with Baby Doll that we're not going to have to worry about her, Precious. And Wahoo McDaniels, I'm real surprised at you. You can't get in the ring and face me man to man. You got to get a woman to come help you do your job. Well, let me tell you something. You're going to regret the day you ever made that decision. And Baby Doll, I want to give you a warning again. If you stick your nose in my business, I'm going to turn my squeeze loose on you, and she's liable to smack you right in the face and teach you some manners, too. And I know you would really enjoy doing that because she's a gross individual, you know. She really don't know what she's doing. But try to keep your temper down, though.
Okay, gorgeous.
How about a kiss?
Here they are, the most talented, most famous, most talked about, and most handsome team ever in wrestling. Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
Outstanding competitors, great competitors under the tutelage of Jim Cornette. They're the World Tag Team Champions. We are looking at them now, fans, of Midnight Express.
And, of course, they were introduced by their manager, Jim Cornette, who was nattily attired in there as usual. However, a couple weeks ago when the James boys walked in on him, he wasn't looking too good then. Frank and Jesse kind of drug him out.
And Johnny, you know, Jim Cornette has had a lot of bad things to say about the James boys.
And if he didn't have the James boys breathing down his back, there's America's team of Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA and the Rock and Roll Express. You can't forget those guys in tag team action.
Loverboy Dennis down from the drop kick. Boy, Rocky King is fired up. He knows he's in against the best, and boy, I tell you, the best is coming out in Rocky King.
And besides Rocky King, his partner is a world junior heavyweight champion, Denny Brown, who's held that title for a long time and defended it all over, has got a lot of wrestling skills and ability. You don't sell Denny Brown short.
Well, fans, with a group of competitors that you've already seen, you're watching NWA Pro Wrestling, the very finest in professional wrestling.
Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express captured their World Tag Team title. They recently made the James boys famous. The rest of the world is present.
Boy, Denny really caught beautiful body. Down for a quick count of two. Just couldn't hold him. The referee was out of the ring during that bit of action.
That was great action, and they're going to have a conference right here with Cornette.
Denny Brown showed you just how quick and fast he is in that ring.
Well, they got to put up with the speed of Rocky King and Denny Brown. And great escape by the junior heavyweight champion of the world. And that leaves Loverboy Dennis standing in awe.
Fans, remember, they're making the showing against the world champions. The Midnight Express are your world champions.
There's Cornette on the outside hollering instructions to his world champion, the Midnight Express.
Well, they got Brown in trouble now, though, Johnny. He's taking a couple of terrible licks, and there's another one.
Can't forget the damage that Jim Cornette did to Baby Doll, Bob.
Unbelievable, Johnny. I have never seen a man hit a woman like that. Have you? I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Not since I've been around.
Never in professional wrestling have I seen anything like that take place.
Think about the pump, huh?
Dennis is in no man's land, back into the corner with Rocky King.
Rocky firing away. When he turned around, Loverboy Dennis was ready for it. There was a tag made there.
Yes, sir. Watch out. High in the air. Beautiful Bobby was over that rope.
Off the top turnbuckle, slammed him right down on Rocky King. And the winners of the match, the World Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette.
Boy, that's like a bomb landing on you from way up the way he got so high into the air. Watch it right here as Rocky King is going to be slammed and driven to the mat. Loverboy Dennis. Beautiful Bobby now on that rope. Watch this. It's completely devastating as he gets so high into the air, hard down across Rocky King. It was all over with the winners, the world champions, the Midnight Express. And we'll be back right after this timeout. Baby Doll and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes fan. Dusty, I still, you know, Jim Cornette, he is still saying the James boys, and he's mentioning, of course, you and Magnum TA.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about the James boys. Television land, I want you to take a shot, Mr. Cameraman. Your psychedelic Wayne Daniels. Emerson Lawson, get a shot of this lady right here from head to toe. I want you to take a look at the most gorgeous woman in professional wrestling right here. Baby Doll, Personal Valley, make no doubt about it. Strange affairs, she might have had many. But let me tell you what, she takes care of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And anytime Jimmy Cornette
that you don't think that dude's gonna be paid for hurting this lady from Magnum T and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, then you got another thing coming. And throughout television land, let me tell you another secret, if you will. The Midnight Express, Jim Cornette, I told you nationally on public television throughout this land, when me and Magnum T got ready for the World Tag Team titles, we would take them. Going into the Great American Bash, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, wants to be World Heavyweight Champion before he gets there. He wants to be World Tag Team Champion before he gets there. He wants to be the National Heavyweight Champion before he gets there. He wants to be the World Television Champion, National Champion before he gets there, because that is my lifestyle, if you will. So everybody that I mentioned in the above order, take heed. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream in 1986, has no equal, backs up from no man. As long as she wants to be the prettiest lady in the world, Jimmy Garvin, don't you ever come out here with that little shrimp, half snotty-nosed looking lady and call my lady no bag. Because when you do, you're going to get on my bad side, and that's bad, risky business. And for the last thing I want to say, I just want to tell Jim Cornette that the James boys know where your mama lives.
Boy, you got to call that some flamboyant entrance, haven't you, with gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious as Precious precedes him. And he got his reward right there, too, Johnny. That big kiss from Precious.
And they sure got a lot of color, but they got a tough opponent in this match. Sam Houston on the other side, you know, former Mid-Atlantic champion. Sam has had himself a major title around his waist and a very well-liked individual by all the fans. So this should be another great match, Bob.
Oh, I think you're 100% right, and one that I've really been looking forward to, because, as you say, Sam Houston already has held a championship, that Mid-Atlantic championship, and that's a very big, prestigious title in its own right, Johnny, that Mid-Atlantic championship. A young man with a tremendous amount of talent and ability, and I think he's going to really test Garvin, although Garvin really works him over in the ropes.
And Garvin's established. Garvin, a tremendous wrestler and established star for a long time, Bob. He's got to back up and figure out Sam a little bit, but you know, he's been besides them flamboyant entrances, he's been shooting that mouth off a little bit too, especially at one Wahoo McDaniel.
That's right about Wahoo, and so has Precious, but boy, he showed you a good takedown there. He's got a lot of ability to go with it. He not only can talk it, he can carry it out once he gets in the ring.
Oh, yeah, he can do that, Bob. He's an established star for a long while. And a great wrestler. I don't know about running my mouth off about Chief Wahoo McDaniels or not, but if that's too wide, but he is a tremendous athlete.
And we want to remind you again that you're watching NWA Pro Wrestling. NWA Professional Wrestling at its very finest. And, Johnny, nowhere else are you going to see matches like this.
A major league of professional wrestling.
Well, Garvin showed you a good move to put Houston on the mat, and Houston came right back with that head scissors. Fans, don't be fooled by the way he enters the ring, because this gorgeous Jimmy Garvin can really wrestle. Johnny, as you say, he's been a top competitor worldwide now for some time.
Held many championships. Fine arm drag, takedown by Sam. And now the head scissors countered by Garvin. Is he proud of himself there? I know Precious is proud of him.
He got that tall Texan mad now, though. Houston went at him with rights.
This promised to be a whale of a match, and they're not letting us down.
Flying head scissors. Drop kick now from the tall one. Garvin in the corner, but he missed it. Oh!
And almost out of the ballpark goes Houston. Went for that flying head scissors in the corner. Garvin, the veteran he is, saw it coming, ducked out of the way. Johnny's a title battle.
He just wiped himself out when he missed Garvin in that corner.
Uh-oh, brainbuster. Oh, my goodness, drove his head right in the mouth.
We keep hoping it's going to be the suplex, but he always goes with that brainbuster.
Drove Sam Houston's head right in that mat. He may not be as tall a Texan as you said now, Bob. Boy, he really drove his head in the mat. We're going to get to see it again. We're going to get to see it right here in slow motion. Watch, Sam is straight up in the air. Nothing sticking out but his head, and boom. The winner, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin.
Stay tuned, fans. We'll be right back with more action after these commercial messages about the Mid-Atlantic wrestling events coming to your area.
Cumberland County Memorial Arena on Monday, June 2nd, 8 o'clock. The NWA returns. Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Baby Doll, the Rocky Roll Express, and many others. Hallsboro High School Gym on Thursday, May 29th at 8:15. The Barbarian, Paul Jones, Shaska, Baron Von Reschke, the Raging Bull, Hector Guerrero, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vine, and others will be there. At the Dorton Arena on Wednesday, May 28th at 8:15, Arn Anderson defends a World TV title against the Italian Stallion. Tape fist match, Ryan Garvin against Tully Blanchard. The Raging Bull and Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vine will take on Chaska and the Barbarian. A match to determine the #1 contender for the World Tag Team title. The Rocky Roll Express against Ivan and Nikita Koloff. World Tag Team title match. The Midnight Express with Jim Cornette against America's team. Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA with Baby Doll. And a Texas Death Match. Wahoo McDaniel with Baby Doll in his corner against Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious at the Dorton Arena. One half of America's team, Magnum TA, going after the World Tag Team title.
Well, Jim Cornette, I hope you enjoyed yourself. All the time you had to laugh and ha-ha about what you've done, because now it's all going to come back on you. Your men, your illustrious World Tag Team champions, are going to have to deal with both members of America's team, not just the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Not that he couldn't handle anything that you want to dish out, but now both of us there, Magnum TA, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, taking care of business in the Dorton Arena, coming to take care of a little vengeance, a little overdue payback, if you know what I mean. Because after the battle's over, Cornette, after all the fighting's finished, then the real battle begins, the battle of you fighting for your life.
Texas Death Match, Wahoo McDaniel will have Baby Doll in his corner against Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious.
Well, you know, right off the bat, it's even Steven. And that goes to say that he doesn't have a fair chance right then because he can't beat me anyway. Now I've got Baby Doll. That eliminates Precious. And I've told Baby Doll, don't hurt her real bad if she sticks her nose in my business, and I hope she knows what I mean. Now, Jimmy Garvin, death matches mean it can be one fall or it can be 150 falls. You just better get down at night and say your prayers and hope it's not 100 falls, because I don't think your scrawny little body will hold up. Now, I don't mean to be real mad and real nasty, but you and Arn Anderson have caused me a lot of headaches. You've made me mad, and I'm just going to tell you one thing. Get ready for a lot of falls, because I'm not going to beat you real easy. I'm going to take my time.
All right, and fans at ringside, Magnum TA. Magnum, it looks like finally now you've got it at least within reach, because Nikita Koloff says that he will sign to meet you on television. I don't know why and what it's all about, but he says he wants a press conference.
Well, that's fine with me. I mean, I really don't see what difference it makes whether we sign behind closed doors or whether we have a press conference for everyone to see. It doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is we got to get in the ring and get this thing over with. We've talked about it all this time. Months have gone by. Everybody's made accusations about what should be, what shouldn't be, what kind of stipulations. It doesn't really matter, Nikita. We can have a press conference. We can have a signing. All I want to do is get in the ring and settle this once and for all. And one little special note for Jim Cornette. You know, running around here now kind of frantic. People trying to do all kinds of things to you. Well, don't worry about who the James boys are, because you just better worry about what America's team is going to do to you. You know, I don't believe in making threats. I believe action speaks a whole lot louder than words, and those World Tag Team titles will look real good around Dusty's and my waist.
All right, Magnum TA fans, we got a whale of a combination in the ring. You're looking at them right now. And Johnny Weaver, look at those belts around the waist of Arn Anderson. There's your world television champion. And then, of course, you got that belt around the waist of Tully Blanchard, your national champion.
And that's 2 of the 3 horsemen, Bob. Of course, Ric Flair being the other one. And you can say what you want to them or what, but they do have belts around their waist, all 3 of them. We know they've done some underhanded tactics. Ricky Morton's face, Dusty Rhodes' leg. List goes on, but they are champions.
Well, fans, it looks like, and Johnny, you heard it from Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA, we're just that close now to having that match on television.
But Nikita's still got
a press conference.
Sure, Magnum agrees to that.
Magnum doesn't care. He said he didn't care. And if we have a press conference, we'll have it right here next week, believe me.
Speaking of next week, the announcement from Bob Geigel, don't anybody want to miss that, especially myself. And I know you don't want to miss that, Bob.
That's right, concerning the Great American Bash 86, and it has to do with a world heavyweight champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair, and the Bash. Boy, Tully Blanchard held on to that foot. The Stallion trying to kick him free, but Blanchard, watch, he had the presence of mind, Johnny, to hang right on, and he did it twice.
And he's always been tenacious like that, Bob, grabbing that hole, and boy, you got to really work to get yourself out of that hole. It takes a lot out of you. You spend a lot of energy, and of course, Blanchard has won many matches by...
It looked like what was going to be a clean break. Blanchard, that's sort of like a little insulting blow there, that slap up beside the jaw.
Another tactic in the repertoire of Tully Blanchard. And we used to see him backpedal and run a lot. He hasn't been doing that recently. He really takes the fight to him and really mixes it up. But on occasion, there's that intimidation, Bob.
Well, after that, when the Stallion came after him, he went back to make the tag. And here's Arn Anderson in now.
Another rugged individual.
World television champion. When you say world, Johnny, just think of what that encompasses. And you're talking about a world champion in there in Arn Anderson.
And outside you see James J. Dillon intently watching.
Tully wants the referee to raise his hand and give him the win there.
Tully Blanchard.
Referee Tommy Young talking to the Stallion. Well, the Stallion showing a lot of fire during this match too, Johnny.
Yes, he's given Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson all they want so far. What an hour we've had. A lot of suspense, a lot of talking going on. A name calling, and boy, it's got to boil over, Bob.
Right out of the headlock and into the scissors comes the Stallion. Blanchard came right out of that headlock. He's got pressure now on those legs around that head of the Stallion.
There you see James J. Dillon outside watching Tully Blanchard. He's head man at Tully Blanchard Enterprises.
Arn with a headbutt, and again now back on top of the Stallion. You got to say that James J. Dillon has got sort of a pleased expression on his face at the moment.
George South into the ring. Arn Anderson quickly sized up the situation, changed the tide of battle. What a maneuver!
Caught him in the air, turned him around to slam him to the mat. Almost, it was almost a belly-to-belly, Johnny.
Now Blanchard, here they're both in there. Hard to the mat, right down at patented Anderson move. It drops him right to the face. And the winner for the match, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson. And right here we see the World TV champion and the National Heavyweight champion, James J. Dillon. Quite an impressive match and win by Anderson and Blanchard. We'll see it again in slow motion. Tully raises him up, lays him right into position for Arn to drop George Saltz right on his face in the mat. The winners, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard.
All right, fans, a man has done a lot of talking, but we've always seen him deliver so far. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious.
Well, you know, it's been another action-packed hour of the greatest professional wrestling in the world, and I'd just like to make a few comments on the whole hour in itself. First of all, you started off with Wahoo McDaniels coming out here talking like some kind of idiot. You know, I thought when I dropped him on his head, I'd just take him right out of professional wrestling, but obviously I've just did a lot of brain damage to the man because he starts bad-mouthing Arn Anderson and saying that Arn Anderson and I are teaming up against him. Well, the fact is that Arn Anderson and I could beat him anytime we want to, one-on-one. Enough of that. Then you got this other guy out here because, Wahoo, you're old news to me now, Pally. I've beat you. I've proven that I'm a better man than you, so you're history. Okay, you had some guy out here look like some kind of wild-looking mouse, some national United States heavyweight champion. Or what's that guy's name? Escapes my mind right now. What is it?
You mean the big, tall, good-looking man? The Magnum TA?
The guy that looks like a lemming looking for a cliff to jump off of. Now, you got these other two individuals coming out here mentioning my name, which takes a lot of guts. And all I got to say to them is, number one, American Dream, you better not back down from nobody, and you better win all your matches in '86 because you're going to need to pay the grocery bill for that thing that you got that's called a valet. And she should be arrested because it probably took at least 500 leopards to make that suit.
Fans, that's going to do it for this week. We'll see you next week, and until then, so long for now.
A bunch of leopards.
Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling is a presentation of the JCP Sports Network and has been furnished to the station for broadcast at this time in exchange for commercial consideration.